What's a skill that every homesteader needs to know? They need to know how to turn wheat into flour. Have you been dreaming about living a homesteader life? Have you been wondering what it takes to be a homesteader? Well, I combined a bunch of different lists that I found on the internet of what every homesteader needs to know. And I made one master list, and we are going to check off this list one at a time. Some of these things I am super excited to share because I'm already really passionate about them. While some others I'm a little bit more nervous to try, but I'm going to challenge myself and do it. So let's get started. Let us know in the comments below if you've ever milled your own flour before, and what kind of grinder did you use to mill it. Also, if you're gluten-free, I'd love to know if you make your own bread. We've tried multiple recipes for my son who can't have gluten, but we've yet to find one that he actually likes or that turns out a little nicer than a brick. So let us know down in the comments if either of those apply to you. Before we get started grinding wheat berries, we need to try to figure out what kind to use. There are so many different kinds of varieties of wheat that there's no way I can touch on all the different kinds. The main thing in choosing what kind to use is between the soft and hard wheat varieties. Hard wheat berries are higher in protein and are better used for breads. Soft wheat berries work better in cakes, pastries, and cookies. Or we'll be using hard wheat berries because that's just what we store. There are many different kinds of mills, and these are the three that we have. This grinder is the first grinder that we got when we were married. We picked it because it was the cheapest. Now, the cheapest does not always mean the best. This grinder will grind wheat into flour. It will not make the best quality, but it will grind it. But it is a little bit harder to crank, and the hopper is not very big, so it kind of makes a mess when you're filling it. Typically, you have to grind it once on where it will make it kind of a coarser grind, and then you regrind the wheat again. Though when we did it this time, even with tightening it, we didn't notice much of a difference between the first time flour and the second time flour. And again, it was a bit messy when we were putting the flour back in the top. This is our second hand-powered wheat grinder, and while it is much more efficient and easier to use, it still takes quite a bit to mill enough flour to make something. You also still have to do a coarse grind at first and then regrind it again the second time. It puts less stress on the machine, and it's actually easier to grind that way. This would be my choice of wheat grinder to use if we ever had a situation where we needed fresh flour and there was no electricity. Now this grinder is our electric wheat grinder, and this one is my favorite. It's super easy to set up, and it has an attachment where the grind flour goes into, which also has a lid, so you don't end up with flour everywhere and you don't have to worry about a bowl spilling over. It is very noisy though, but I'll deal with a little bit of noise for something that grinds wheat super fast, and it also grinds it into a very fluffy, nice wheat flour. Electric mill, Wonder Mill Junior, and the cheap hand mill. So it's probably kind of hard to tell on here, but this is definitely the most soft. This is the next best, and this is the most coarse. But they are all workable flours, so really, if you had any one of these, you'd be able to make some bread. Now we have fresh flour that we can make delicious bread out of. Make sure to check out the playlist that has all my videos covering the skills that we're learning how to do and trying out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss anything, and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps support our channel and gets our videos out to other people. Thanks for watching.
Is it fluffies?
Fluffy.
Yes, it's super fluffy. Fluffy, fluffy, 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 fluffy. Fluffy, fluffy,
It's
fluffy.
fluffy.
Fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. Oh, fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. Fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. Fluffy.
Okay, we're making a very big mess.
And that's flowers.